Yeah, I can't see that. You can't read that one?
I have to squint.
Oh, I don't have any trouble reading.
You need glasses
I
then.
can read them both.
Old
I
age.
have
We
glasses,
have
I just don't
open,
wear
we
'em.
have open houses at ours, at our place.
Yeah. Oh, we're good, okay, sorry, all right, we are ready whenever you are, madam. Oh. Make sure everyone's,
This thing, now it's on.
okay. Y'all ready?
Let's roll.
Okay.
It's right.
We'll bring the September 8th Recreation Advisory Committee meeting. We'll start, and if you'll stand with me for the invocation and pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Father, thank you for bringing all of us here today safely and for keeping the storms away so far and looking out for this city. We hope that you'll be with us as we make decisions today about the city and so that we can guide the rec department the way that the citizens would have it advised. We ask you for your blessing and we thank you for all that you've done. Amen. Okay. Can I get approval or disapproval of the minutes?
I move that the minutes be approved as written.
Can I get a
Second.
second? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Are there any public comments, Jen?
No, Madam
All
Chair.
right, so we'll move down to public presentations. Are there any of those?
No, Madam Chair.
All right, so to old business, Jen.
There is no old business.
All right, moving down to presentation and approval of the minutes from the August 11th meeting. Can I get approval or disapproval or discussion?
I approve of them.
Second to the motion.
All right, so you're making a motion for approval?
Yes.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. And then, new business, Jennifer?
Yes, we have a lot of new business. So we've kind of, one of the first things that we need to look at is moving the November 10th meeting to Monday, November the 3rd. November the 11th is a holiday, it's on a Tuesday. Unfortunately, I will be up in Greenville, so I will not be here. So we are requesting that we, sorry, I just hit that. Requesting that we move, I don't know what I just hit, sorry. Requesting that we move the meeting to Monday, November 3rd. So you just all need to be in agreement, or if not, we will not have a November meeting.
Do you need a motion for that?
Not a motion, we just
So
wanted
you need
you
to
all
decide
to
whether
say
you
yes or no.
wanna, and we won't have a December meeting, so we probably do
There is
need-
no October meeting or December meeting.
So we probably do definitely need to meet
So
in
the
November,
third,
so. Does anybody have a problem with November 3rd, or,
It works for me.
okay, so can I get a motion?
So moved that we move the meeting from November 10th, or November 11th to November 3rd.
At 5:30 in the afternoon.
5:30 still, right?
Same time, same station.
I'll second that.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. So
Okay.
that carries.
The next thing is the attendance of the commission members to meetings. As you know, we have been having some issues with folks getting here. We have a commission of 7. Right now, we have 6 on the panel. So we still have 1 opening and are trying to fill that, which means if somebody is out, which does happen, you know, we're not saying you have to be here every single time, but it does make it a little bit more difficult. So we just want to make sure that we reiterate what the rules and regulations are. You can't miss more than 3 in a time frame, and so in consecutive time frame, I should say. But again, we try and make sure that everybody is here for the meetings. We try to make sure they're not, you know, super long. But we did want to make sure that everyone understood, you know, that your presence is required and it is important so that we can conduct our meetings. There's nothing worse than having meetings canceled or if we don't have a quorum. There are some times where we don't have a ton of stuff to meet about, so we certainly don't want to meet just to meet. But we do want to make sure that when we do have our meetings, that everyone is in attendance as best they can. So, does
So
anyone have?
can you clarify what a time frame is?
The timeframe would be,
The
three
calendar year?
consecutive. For the whole calendar year,
You can't miss 3 consecutive.
In what,
in a calendar year. So in other words, if, we start, our calendar year starts in January, and you miss January, February, March, this commission has the ability to say, hey, we need to find somebody else because you can't attend.
okay, so
we
you're
have-
talking about in a calendar year?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we've not had that problem, but it is getting a little bit harder, and we certainly understand, especially the summertime, people are traveling, we get that, and then we don't meet currently in October and December because those are heavy event months. We did make that change last year, so, and that kind of leads us into the next one, but I wanted to make sure if anyone had any questions or concerns, or if they wanted to voice any opinions about the attendance policy or anything like that, it's all done through the ordinance, so if you need us to send that to you, we can send that. Everyone should have received that when you came on, but if not, we can certainly get you that information. Does anyone have any questions about that? Okay. Alrighty, so this was brought up a little bit last week, not last week, feels like it was last week. Last month at the last meeting. And we have talked about it a couple of times, and I think every time we kind of vote no and just kind of keep moving on. But we wanted to bring it back up. So I'll give you a little bit of history about commissions and what their roles are. Ours is an advisory role position, which means, I don't report to you all, I report to the city manager. However, if there is anything that needs to go to council, if we have, we've got Splash Pad coming up, let's say, Splash Pad would need to come through you all to look at it, provide your comments, and then it would go back to CIP. And if there was some kind of a rift or something like that, we would have Sherry, who is our chair, to go in front of council to present that. That also has not ever happened before, so we're very lucky with that. However, with that being said, it can be difficult, I think, sometimes for trying to meet every month for some folks. Traditionally, most Parks and Recreation Advisory commissions meet either one or two ways. They either meet monthly, which is what we currently have, or they'll meet quarterly, which is once every quarter. That means your commission meetings could be an hour and a half, 2 to 3 hours, because you're piling 3 months worth of stuff onto it. We have not had a every other month. Doesn't mean that we can't, but anything that we do change and decide, if you all want to, we do have to take in front of our council to have that change so it can be codified and then put into our ordinances. So currently, our ordinance says that we meet once a month, with the exceptions of making changes as needed, which we currently do. So wanted to open it up and allow you all to have the discussion as to what you all think is best for the commission. Unfortunately, we couldn't have everybody here today, and we can always move this to another date if you all feel more comfortable where the whole panel is here. But we do want to open it up so that you all can discuss and figure out what you think is the best way to move forward. That's my spiel. So the options are either we meet quarterly, which is once every quarter, once every 3 months. We have not done every other month. It is something we can certainly explore, or we keep what we have right now and we continue to meet once a month and then make changes as needed.
Do you see us as being really busy? Is there like upcoming projects and stuff that we're gonna need to, like we've had to do work before where we tried to prioritize things or get, approval on certain.
Yes, January is your busiest time. That is where we do our annual calendar. So we make sure we get that information out and you all approve that. You also approve your calendar of days that you're actually meeting. And then that is when we look at council's goals and then we align our goals. So that one usually takes about 1 or 2 meetings. So that's usually January, and then we either have it done and ratified by February, and then it goes back out and it becomes whatever, we happen to approve. As far as projects go, we have got a few coming down the line. Memorial Park Parks and Rec wasn't really involved in that, neither was CIP. So Mr. Davis that's why we had him come and talk to you all about that. So that is a project that is under us for now. We will basically get that park once it's all done and built up, and then we will manage it and maintain it. But as far as like approving anything and all that kind of stuff, it's already been done. The next one that we have coming up is the splash pad. So we are in the design phase of that. So once we get to that point, Jody would be able to bring that back to you all for input. So that would definitely be something on the horizon. And then we have a couple of trails. So it's hit or miss. As much as I wish I could bring you all a project every month, we just don't have the funding for it. But whoever's watching.
No, I'm trying to see how busy we are looking to be, like, as the new year comes in.
There is no rhyme or reason. When we talk about the different programming and stuff that we do, we rely heavily on you all to bring the information back from the communities in which you live to say, hey, we want to have more of a festival, or we want to have more, food trucks, or whatever it happens to be, so that you can bring that information to us, so that we can work together to try and make those decisions and then bring a product back to you all for approval. And that's what we do in January with our annual calendar. As of right now, we haven't made any major changes to our calendar. We would have to wait to go through the budget process to see if we're awarded any more funding, whether it's for staff or future events. So the short story of it is, I wish I could give you a schedule of what was coming, but I don't have one. I wish I did, but I don't.
But if we did, say we changed it to every other month or whatever, then we could add a meeting if we felt like we needed to add a meeting.
You could. Mm-hmm.
So if something did come up
Mm-hmm.
and you needed us to meet, it would not be an issue.
Yes, we could definitely do that. Like I said, our only concern is just making sure that once we schedule those meetings, that everyone shows up. The problem that we're having right now is that we don't have enough for a quorum, and I think this year alone, we've had two meetings, I think. I know we definitely didn't have one in July, and I feel like maybe it was April, May, I don't remember, something, we didn't have one. And that's two already for the year. So if you go every other month, just take that into consideration. If something were to happen, you want to make sure you have your team that's here to be able to say, hey, we have to meet about this. So, but most commissions typically, like I said, I know it's a lot of routine, it's the same information. We're updating you and all that. We're updating the public on that information. So we want to make sure we try and get that information out as consecutively as we can in some manner of routine that works for everybody.
So in current, if you're not gonna do December and you're not gonna do October, then your meetings would be January, March, May, July, September, and November. So you've only got one per se, which we're in September now and having trouble. I don't mind it the way it is, but I understand. I'm not gonna fight either way. So, it is nice to come in and get out pretty quick.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, for the most part.
There's pros and cons each way.
Yeah, for the most part, we do try not to be more than, 30 minutes to 45 minutes. We also understand that your time is very valuable. And you can always change the time frame. If this time doesn't work and, somebody wants to do it at 6 or 5, you all have the ability to make the change. That's completely up to y'all. I don't,
Does the
Trying to
time
remember
work
if
with
everybody-
everybody, pretty much?
Yes. Yeah.
I never know from day to day. I make concessions. I schedule around most of the time. So I'm not in terribly bad shape. The unfortunate thing for me is since July 21st until 8 or 9 days ago, I spent 23 days in a hotel. In and out of Charleston and Vidalia, Georgia, working. So, if that happens, that happens. I don't have total control over that. But if I'm working on something 30, 45 minutes away, I will cut loose at 4 o'clock and
So
just
would
make
it
it up
be-
the next day.
So would it be easier for you to meet less often, or you don't?
Like I
really-
said, I don't know what tomorrow brings
Okay.
So that's what I'm saying. I make things work 90% of the time. I'm gonna have that 10%. So, like I said, I can see cutting it out. I can see keeping it the same. You're already not meeting twice. It's only 10 meetings instead of 12 already. So, I will vote whichever way you want to. I do feel like we need to have everybody here. Or make it this way, because we don't know if we'll have everybody here again. But, you know where I stand now, so if I'm not here at the next meeting, if we have everybody here at the next meeting, then fine, let's make a vote. If we don't, do we go ahead and vote, or do we continually to wait?
The only other,
It seems like July is always a struggle for us because it's just a high vacation month.
Yeah.
And so, and a lot of committees don't meet in July just for that very reason. So the only thing that I personally had thought was that we might wanna add July to the month where we did not meet. Just because it seems like we always end up
That-
canceling it anyway because we can't
That-
get enough people.
That works too.
And
that
it
was
is really, if you think about it, when we're coming in is July 4th and the follow-up week, and it just doesn't work.
and I would go with that too. Like I said,
It just never seems to work. So, and I don't think I was in town, I was one of the ones that wasn't in town, but you gotta work on everybody else's schedules and stuff, so.
And I was doing something for the rec department. And I really didn't wanna stop what I was doing, so.
So,
But I was available.
so how
I
would
was not
y'all
counted
feel about adding July to the list? Because
I'm fine with it.
I don't
And
think
stay
the
like we
last
are.
2 years we've been able to meet July, just because it's a high vacation month.
And the holiday.
Right. And a lot of companies and businesses want their employees to take that week or whatever, and it just ends up it depends on how the calendar falls, but it just usually ends up to where people just can't make it.
And like I said, I'm fine with that too.
Would that be a problem, Jen, if we just added July to the list? So what would we need to do in order to do
Well,
that? Could we do that when we set our meetings, or would we need to have?
Yes, yeah, so what we would do, if you're only gonna change in, one extra day that you're gonna, or one extra month that you wanna take off, we would just do that in, we would do that in January when we do our calendar. The only time you're gonna have to go in front of council is if you're gonna do a set routine, which means either you go quarterly or you go every other month. If you do that, that does have to go in front of council, to be ratified, codified, and then it'll go to our ordinance. So if you're just adding one additional one for July, that's not gonna make any major difference, so.
I'm not saying that's what we have to do, I'm just saying that as I've thought about it, that's been my major thinking.
This is what we should be doing, is talking about. The only person that's saying anything is you, Kazan.
Okay. So I've been on the commission for about 1.5 years now. And, so we ran through everything on the agenda except for new business in 5 minutes. So, I'm here as much as I can be here, except if I'm out of town and I can't be here, then that, everybody has that issue. For me personally, and I'll do whatever the majority wants to do, but for me personally, it makes sense to go to quarterly meetings. And then if we have to call special meetings, then do that. But if we're gonna take the time to come here, then let's, have some meat, I guess. Yeah, business to discuss instead of just sort of checking a box and running through an agenda. I feel like we sort of do the same thing every meeting. It's because you give your updates, Jen, and a lot of times you're repeating things that you've already said the previous meeting. So that's just sort of where I am.
And
I
I know
understand
that
that.
there's been times
Yeah.
when we do goal setting and all that, those meetings they're long and
Well, they're gonna be long anyway.
Right. So, it doesn't matter to me, I'll do whatever the majority wants, but,
Oh,
but since we don't have, two of our members, do we wanna just kind of table this for the next meeting and hope that everyone's here? And that would be, again, we would meet before the January meeting where we have to set our calendar. So we still have
I would,
time to talk about it.
that would be my perspective of it, because we know how Miss Ann feels. It's recorded, you know how I feel. Again, I can do whatever.
And
But I would-
Tammy's
I would
usually
like-
here and she might have
I
an
would like the other
opinion,
two.
to have a
The only
voice.
problem is Tammy is gonna be completely against it. I can tell you that right now, cause that only gives her 4 opportunities to talk about Christmas parade.
She
then
may
you'll
have to,
make it count.
she may have to go on television.
And we're gonna have to extend the meetings to 10 PM, so she can have from 8:30 to 10 to make up for her 30 minutes every meeting she missed.
Yeah,
And you can put it in the notes for tonight, put it in there and saying, be prepared to come with your comments, questions, concerns regarding this issue at this next meeting, because we need to make a definite, almost definite decision by then.
Well, here would be the next question, Jen. If, let's say, we're not meeting October now, November 1st, that meeting, if we said, okay, let's go quarterly, would that go immediately?
It would
To
be
council.
effective in January. You would all approve it in January.
But it would have to
we would
go
have
through
to go-
council first, though,
Yeah,
right?
we would have to go to our council in December, and then if council approves it, then it would be
Okay,
January timeframe that you're.
just
that you're
making
ready to
sure
go.
it's enough time
Yeah.
to do
You
that.
typically have enough time. Council is only meeting once in December, so, because, there's so many different holidays
Right.
and stuff like that. So I don't think we'll have a problem putting that on for them.
Might be able to slide it through.
well, and our meeting is the 3rd, it's early, so that gives the whole month basically of November, and then, so both, I don't know when I would assume there would be a meeting that first Thursday would be after, like the 5th or 6th, whatever that day is, and then,
January.
so there would be 3 meetings after our meeting in November.
All right, I say we do that.
And they're
So we
gonna
wait.
go by whatever we feel.
Yes,
I
no,
can't
it's-
see
it's
the
completely-
council.
Like I said, this commission doesn't have, it's an advisory commission. So, even when we do have stuff that we're bringing to you, it's so that you can say, yeah, this looks like a great idea, or you're like, yeah, no, our public is definitely not gonna wanna do this. Or if there is a huge issue or something that we need to, work through. We've been very lucky, that we just haven't had any major issues. We can, contribute that to the good staff that we have, because, I have been places where, people are in the, out
Where
there.
everything's an ordeal.
Yes, and, people want to, have input into this, or, the park hours, they don't work, or, all kinds of little things like that, that the public is coming, to voice their opinion instead of just to the council. They have to come here first. So, we could do less. We could be not so great at what we do. But at the end of the day, like I said, Ann is right, because it's the same format. Some of my meetings are very quick and fast, and we don't have a ton of stuff. Some of them are, yep, we've got this, and this. And a lot of it, I can literally send you an email and go, here's what's coming up. But we still have to be transparent to the public. So, you know, and I think Beaufort County, I think they do theirs quarterly, I believe, I'm not sure. But I
We
mean,
have-
it just.
We
it
have a
just
Facebook
depends.
page, right? And we have a website,
Yes.
so,
Yeah.
and the marketing has been ramped up pretty well.
Mhm.
So I think the word's really out there.
Oh, yeah, no, for sure, yeah, I mean, I don't even know how many people are on our Facebook page right now, but our goal is to continue to push and push and push out, you know, as we get bigger and bigger. All of the city, you know, will have those, issues, you know, same thing with the planning commission, which does, again, you know, they're making decisions and then they give it to council and council makes that ultimate decision, so, you know, again,
And
it
I
can
think
work either
there's
way.
been issues with the TV station, like for seeing meetings and stuff, whatever, but I think they're
Yeah, I think they've
they're
already worked through all that.
installing
Yep.
new
That's- you
stuff
see it,
or
it's
whatever,
all
so
up. Yep.
hopefully we'll have more of a voice than we've had, like, just because we had to have technology upgrades and stuff, so hopefully that will, because that's what we're supposed to be, is a voice of the people. And I feel like we've been a strong voice, like when we did the playgrounds and we fought for if there was gonna be a dog park or not. And the council was very receptive to what we had to say. And our goals at first didn't align, but now they're pretty aligned with council. So I feel like we've been able to kind of bring things together and help with that. I don't know if Jen feels the same way, but
No, absolutely. Like I said, when I first got here, I think the meetings were once in a blue moon, and people weren't attending and what have you. So we brought clarity to it, you know, and made some changes, you know, based off of what others in our area are doing. But again, it doesn't matter to me. I'm a public servant, so I mean, I can do it once a month, or we can do it quarterly.
Girl, tell the truth, you want to do quarterly, because
No, it truly doesn't, like I said, I mean,
that's,
agendas,
8 days you ain't got to be here.
these things are saved, so it's just
Because
a
they gonna
matter
find
of
something else for
copy
you
and
though.
pasting. But it does mean that, you know, on our back end, that we do have to, you know, strategically store some of the information, to get out, and we certainly have no problem sending that information out to you all via email. But, you know, again, all of our newsletters are public, so, they are not only on our website, we also post them on our Facebook page, you know, newspaper, that kind of stuff. I don't even know if we have the newspaper in our area anymore.
Can people subscribe to the newsletter through email?
Yep,
Okay,
they sure can.
okay.
Yep, and I think we have the, I think it's on our website where you can click on it. But yeah, it'll go directly to your email. We did that a couple years ago. So I think we have about 6,000 or 7,000 that are on that list, so. And then you can always, if you get it and you're like, I don't want this, you can, you know, it's through constant contact. But yeah, what I would recommend you all do at this point is to wait until you have your entire commission to make those, because all of you right now have very different opinions, and you want to make sure you're all aligned with
At least
whatever that
one more
opinion is
meeting,
moving
at least
forward.
one more meeting to give the others that are not here.
And just something that I was thinking about, and y'all may just totally say no, but I just was thinking about it. If, as members on this committee, if we can look at the different events that the city has and try to divide up so that we're like, because I know there are groups and people that meet like for planning or whatever, but so that we could make sure that we are involved in things that are going on and have the opportunity to involve other community people in those committees. So for example, like Tammy does, and Ann, I think, is on the Christmas committee, so a Christmas event. So if we did that and we went to quarterly meetings, then we would actually be meeting more, because we would work with our event with Jen and whoever else, and maybe take some of the burden off of, you know, the city people that are having to kick in and do stuff. But it's just a thought, but I wouldn't wanna vote on anything like that without everybody here either. I'm just saying it's something to think about, because if you're assigned something, you have more skin in the game than if you're not assigned something, because then it's somebody else's issue.
I agree with that.
So, and if we divvy it up, you shouldn't have more than one or two things, so it wouldn't be. And that not every event may need us, but some
Yeah, it
events are
doesn't.
really busy and big, and they, they might need 2 or 3 of us, like.
Yeah.
For the,
Yeah, part of what, the commission is supposed to do as well is to give back, to volunteer at the events. And we have several events. Obviously, we know that not everyone can be at every single event. So parlaying that and saying, yes, that would be great if, hey, this month we have X, Y, and Z events, you 3 take those on and the rest will take another month. That definitely works out. Right now, the only committee that we have is our parade committee. And even that, Tam can tell you, it is a struggle to get the public to help. So, which really does, leave it to us to be able to get that rolling. And sometimes committee work does slow down progress. So you can look at it either or. But yeah, we would love
it's
to have
just
you at
something
all
to
of our
think
events.
about,
Mhm.
just because I know there's a lot of times that I would help if I just knew what needed to be done, but I don't know what needs to be done, and I don't wanna be in the way, and so you just, you kinda stand around, but if nobody says, hey, can you do this, you're not gonna do it, so. I know with working with schools and stuff, I mean, parents are happy to do something, but you have to tell them what you need to be done. They're not gonna just step up there and know what to do.
We need trunks for trunk or treat.
Yeah. Well, I,
2, 3, and 4 of you.
I
Yeah.
don't know if my wife's gonna let me bring my trunk out here.
Yeah, but that is the participation, like I said, that we need. When you put out, our events, and we are a very event heavy, that might change down the road. You never know, council might, have 4 or 5 different parks and we turn more towards the park side versus the heavy on events. But, having all of those events and having people to be there certainly helps us. I think one of the main things that we struggle with is just getting volunteers. There's no struggle on our end to put everything, up together and put the product out. It's physically having volunteers, to say, I need you to run this court here, I need you to do this, and then being physically present. Like when we have ribbon cuttings and groundbreakings, that kind of thing, that's something that we definitely want you all to be involved in as well.
I
So.
try to go to those that I know about, now that I'm retired, I can go to more, but
There you go.
if you don't know about them,
Right.
then you're not gonna, and there's been some that John would even say, oh, I didn't realize that was, so just having a list, trying to be more present,
Yeah, reminder emails too.
right,
Help.
so, just, and it could be that we elect somebody as a secretary in here that does that kind of stuff, or whatever, we
That
can
would be great.
decide what we,
Yeah, we haven't done that, but that would be nice to have someone to
so I think
send out the
maybe,
reminders for all that stuff, because everything is included in that monthly newsletter that we do send out once a month. But yeah, it would be nice to have
But
someone
your
to,
secretary could follow up on those.
she could meet with you.
Yeah, we don't have a secretary.
Well, she could
No,
meet
but I
with
mean,
you
yeah,
and
but
say,
yeah,
all right,
yeah.
Jen, what do
Yeah,
you need from the
secretary.
group? And then we
Yeah,
could,
sure.
But, so I don't know, I think we need to kind of revamp a little bit. And we would have, even if we met our regular month, it should add to those meetings because we would be discussing what our roles would be in the upcoming events, like 2 months out or whatever. Instead of just hearing about what they are, what are we going to do in those events? So that's kind of, I know that Jen would like to move us in that direction. And
yeah, I would love to
we've
see you
changed
all at every
members
event.
and we've played the shuffle game, so that makes it harder, but, and we don't have our full number yet. Hopefully we can get that 7th person, but,
Need one more. If you know of anyone, let them know.
if I just would like to see that be on the old business part, that we discuss what our role is, how often we meet, and how we can organize ourselves to maybe be more, and we can all think about it between now and then. And if you can get with Tammy or, I don't know, or just, I guess, send the minutes and say, pay attention to this, because we're gonna be, when you send them out, or, I
Okay.
don't know if anybody sees Tammy or, no?
You said she's out of the country now, right?
She's out of the country right now, yeah.
When she, I mean, she'll be back though, right?
I have no idea.
I mean, she
I don't keep up with people's schedules.
usually when you go out of the country,
Depending on
you're
what
not
she's
gone
doing in
too
that
long.
other country.
Anyway, if we can try to have a discussion about it next time, I think that would, I see that as a good thing. And then that'll make our calendar make more sense, because we'll know what all we're doing. Any other
good.
comments about that, or anything y'all wanna add
No,
to it?
Tabling it till
Till the next
the next
Just the
meeting,
proper
and
thing to
then
do.
make a decision then, so it can go through council and have time to reflect in January.
Alrighty, anybody else for the good of the cause?
So now we're on the director report, okay.
Yep. And I don't have a ton of stuff, like I said, we send all this information out and the public is certainly well aware. We have got, the big thing coming up, of course, is Festival on Main. That is gonna be October the 10th through the 11th. Got some great bands. The theme this year, again, is We're All Mad Here. It is Alice in Wonderland down the rabbit hole. I think all of our vendors' slots are full, so that's pretty good. At this stage in the game, we're about 30 days out. The rides are set, bands are set, so we're super excited about that. Trunk or treat, commission members, we are definitely looking for trunks. So I don't know how more clear I can be. If you have a trunk, please sign up for
Is
that.
there a sign-up sheet?
There
Who
is.
do we report to if we?
Yes,
somebody-
we will send that information out to you all. We have a whole website that handles that, it's called Eventany. So we will get that out and we will send a link. All of our stuff can certainly be found on Facebook. We have QR codes, all that stuff that literally takes you to where you've gotta be. And it is inside of that, newsletter. So once you open up the newsletter, you can see the QR code, it's right there. You just need to click on it and bam, you can sign up. No charge, and we do provide quite a bit of candy, so that helps out. We know it's Halloween night and a lot of other people have a lot of bootastically fun things to do, but it does help out. Every year we try and get right around 50 to 60. Last year we were super close, didn't quite make it. I think we had 45. Another thing that's coming up in the month of October, finally, we should, I don't know, do like a drum roll or something. The Juju Hudson Playground Park area will finally be ready for an official ribbon cutting. So we are doing a community picnic to reopen that. Again, please write it down. We would love for you to be there. That is going to be on Saturday, October the 4th from 10 a.m. until 12. We've got free hot dogs for the kids, chips, a lot of little swag giveaways for everybody, all focused again on community. And we'll have the family that is there. We have a special presentation for the family. So again, it's a really great opportunity to come and see all the new things that we've added. We were also told today at a meeting that all of the new parking lot areas should be done at the same time, right before festival. So we're super excited about that. It'll be a completely transformative space instead of you seeing people park all over the place and just crazy
You're
every time.
speaking of the one over by the basketball courts, that,
Both, there's
So
two.
by October 4th, those will be done,
October the 11th, those will be done.
but not the picnic.
They'll
though,
be
is the
working on
4th,
it.
Right?
Yeah, the
Okay.
picnic is on the 4th, yep. And each of you will also get an email invite for that, as we always do. And then you'll also get a PDF. You're more than welcome to take that PDF, share it to your social sites, or share within the communities that you live in. Unfortunately, PRT can't do that with some of the gated communities. They won't allow us to post anything, so we rely heavily on you all to get that information out. So be a lot of fun. especially if anyone has their grandkids for that weekend. It'd be fun to bring them out and get some free food and have a lot of fun. Speaking of committees, Christmas parade, right now I think we have Ann and Tam that are sitting on that, and Christy as well is helping with that. That is going to be on December 13th, so we're super excited about that. Our goal is to have between 50 to 60 vendors for that. Last year we had a little over 50, I think it was 55 that we had, and it took right around 45 minutes to an hour for it. So there is a little bit of construction going on up at Memorial Park. So if you happen to come in that way off of 17, you can see all the construction. Anyway. And then coming up on the 23rd, this is new. This is the lowcountryfoodbank.org. They will have their September 23rd, 10 a.m. to 12 noon. That is their Neighbor Choice produce distribution, so it's basically free food. So if you know of anyone in need, please, please, please pass it along. It's 100% free.
And it's produce, fresh produce?
Yep. And then we will have another one October, November, and in December. That is being done through Low Country Community Church, and that's just a food bank drive-through, and they typically provide like a warm meal. In November, I think they're trying to either do a turkey or a ham that they'll give away. And then in December, we try and do some toys so that the kids that come through will be able to get a free toy.
I did those last year. They were,
Yeah.
and they were very well attended and
Coming up right now, we do have registration is getting ready to open. That'll be towards the end of this month. That is for the youth basketball program. Very successful program that we've been running and building every year, so we hope to keep moving on and up with that. Something new that we just added as well, soccer shots. They are all over the place. They are playing on Fridays right outside here. It's a great program. They do about a 6 to 8 week program. I think it's about 100, 160, but it's 2 to 3 year olds and then 3 to 5 year olds. So a lot of fun. Right now we don't offer soccer, so when we have the opportunity to bring somebody in that provides these kind of services, it's great for the community and a win-win. And one of the hard areas and age groups that we deal with is the littles. Not being able to provide a whole bunch of stuff for 2 and 3 year olds. So that is brand spanking new. I believe they just started last week. All the classes, we haven't, all the classes are the same, nothing new to report there. And then that's pretty much it for us. So like I said, we'll, Logan and I will both be out next week. We'll be in Orlando for the NRPA conference, which is our National Parks Recreation Conference. So we will be at that, and then we'll be back at it with full-on marketing, setup, everything for Festival on Main, which is crazy. Hard to believe that it's here, but we are literally, what's today? Yeah, right at 30 days out. So it's coming hard and fast, and it looks like whatever was churning out in the ocean is fizzled out, so that's a great thing. Let's hope that it continues to do that. So, but that is it.
it's a long way away though. I know.
So hopefully, but that's pretty much all that I have. And like I said, we will put this on the meeting for November the 3rd to talk about the time change as far as how we handle our meetings. And then that's it. And just a quick reminder, there is no meeting in October or December. So
Jen, is there any help you need from us at Festival on Main? Or if you can think about it, but maybe if we look for an email from her so that if there's something that you need us to do, we can help. I mean, I'm always there, but
yeah,
I don't.
Festival on Main is pretty good. We do have a few slots. If anyone wants to work the tent, the sales tent, let us know. We will be more than happy to put y'all in there. We have Friday is
Tickets and
completely
stuff,
booked.
you mean?
The wristband sales, yeah, for the rides up front. Friday is completely booked. We have all of the staff for that. And then Saturday, I think we have maybe 1 or 2 slots, but it is the late night.
If
So
you-
nobody wants those slots.
Well, if you will text us what slots are available, then we can sign, you know, if there's, we can sign up, help with whatever, but.
Where does the trick or treat, the trunk and treat?
Right behind us.
It's right behind us on Jim Hatter.
Okay. And how many cars are you looking for trunks?
Every year we look between 50 and 60. Last year we were almost there.
Cause there are tons of children.
Yeah,
I
and they
was gonna ask,
multiply.
do you get that many
Oh
children? for
my
that
gosh, it is
Yes,
unreal
They
what
come
shows
from
up.
all
I don't know where
over.
they come
That and
from.
Easter are like, where did these
They
kids
show
come
up in
from?
droves and we're all scratching our head going,
So do we provide the candy also?
yes and no. Yes, we would like for you guys to provide some. If anyone has a hardship and they can't, the rec does provide some. What's happened is there's so many kids that come, we get a sponsorship and then sponsors will pay for that. I think last year we had a sponsorship of $3,500 and literally bought $3,500 worth of candy and it was gone, all of it.
And
So-
people can donate candy
Yes.
too, so some of the subdivision, you know,
Yep.
some of the areas will donate candy for the event, you know, and turn it into the city and then they give it out with the stuff that they buy.
You're thinking the same thing,
Yeah, we have put some information out calling for help with candy. Sun City was really big, they donated a lot, and then Margaritaville one year donated, Lord have mercy, it must have been
Yeah, I can.
That
full
was the
trunk
year
full.
before last, I think.
Yeah, it was,
It was
it was
really
insane.
nice, yeah.
so, yeah. But, you know, we always rely on help like that, we just can't, that's something that, when you ask about what do we need, that is something that we definitely need, because we can't put our information out to gated communities. So we rely on what we send to you all, and from there, you know, put them on your Facebook, socials, or whatever, you know, Instagram, or whatever it happens to be.
Do you
And that
have-
helps us get the word out.
Do you have marketing pieces already made up?
Mhm.
Can you send those to us,
Yes.
please?
Yeah, I will get Haley to send you all everything, so you have individual flyers, and for anyone that might want the picture, some people don't wanna share the PDF, they just wanna, you know, share the image, so we can do that. Send out. But that's all I have, Madam Chair.
Okay, anything else?
I'm good.
I'm good. Answered my questions.
Nothing from me.
Okay, does anyone here have a concern, or I think we've all been talking about our concerns, so, but if you have something else, now's the time. Anybody?
I think we've handled it.
I don't
Every
have anything else
concern.
to add.
I don't.
Terry, you got anything?
Nope, I'm good.
All right, so if that's the case, then if I can get a motion to adjourn.
Actually,
Oh, wait
there
a
is
minute.
one thing that's really been bothering me. We got these nice, beautiful screens. There's 6 Butterfingers down there. There's a bowl of chips there. There's Reese cups there. There's a bowl of chips. There's Milk Duds and
The man is
Kit Kats
shriveling
over
up
here.
from no snacks.
You can
Oh,
have-
wait,
You can have a
there's
snack.
nothing,
there.
nothing at my slot. Nothing.
But when you
I
get
would
here
really
early,
like
you
that.
graze through, and when you get here early, and you get what you want.
Goodness.
I'm a-
Somebody's been over here eating.
Yeah, it wasn't me.
It
Wasn't me.
wasn't
Oh my
me.
gosh.
Somebody's been eating over here, so.
I'm glad the council is taken care of.
Okay.
I'm done.
All right, if I can get a motion to adjourn,
So moved.
all in favor?
Aye.
All right. See
And I'll
y'all
second
next
it.
time.